Greetings, hello, how are you? This is KIN234, and this presentation is specific to body composition. More accurately, it's specific to body composition and how the body composition information can be used effectively in a sit-down with a client during the initial consultation. So often when clients come in, they'll have their PARQ, their health history questionnaire, and part of the intake process is for a trainer to do some type of body composition reading. Usually, fitness centers and facilities will have like an in-body where the person stands on the scale. It'll take the weight, it'll send bioelectrical impedance through the body. If they're holding the handheld, same thing, they're doing bioelectrical impedance through the arms and hands. Usually you'll have that, or the more economical solution will be the handheld down here, where the person holds the handheld Omron body composition reader at arm's length while standing. This is not about getting into the nuances about how to set each of these up. It's more about the data points that you receive from these. So after a person takes this test, and I'm kind of hesitant to say test, but after they're done with this test, it coughs up a series of numbers that can be utilized to help paint a better picture regarding goal setting and progress. But oftentimes, you're left to explain how this process works. I keep it very simple. I tend to just describe it as, here's this piece of equipment. It sends a low-level electrical current through the body, and it's going to measure how quickly that current travels through the body. And if you look at the human body as kind of a two-compartment model, you have fat and fat-free weight. One is an insulator, one conducts electricity, and it measures how quickly that impulse travels through the body. You'll never feel it. You're not going to feel like an electrical shock or anything, but it's from that reading that the equipment can calculate body composition. And then what we'll do is we'll use those results to help describe, your current body composition and how the heck we can use that to paint a clearer picture of who you are right now, and then what that will look like, a couple of weeks down the road, a couple of months down the road as you're working out more and more. So to simplify this, I often describe the human body as a two-compartment model. Now, granted, there's so much more that goes into the human body, but when you have a layperson sitting in front of you, it is best to keep it simple. And I describe the human body as fat weight and fat-free weight. The fat weight is the stuff that goes along for the ride. It's just the baggage. And for most people, that is what they're trying to lose. Fat-free weight, muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones, all the organs, the central nervous system, all the stuff that makes the body move and function is the fat-free weight. And when I first talk with people, most people are not too concerned about their fat-free weight. They're more concerned about their fat weight in actuality. And actually, they're concerned about their overall weight. But part of that process in terms of weight loss is them losing some of their fat weight. So I tend to focus on this as a two-compartment model because it's easier for people to wrap themselves around that. And when you get done with your body composition process, whether it's the standing on a scale or the handheld, you'll have a couple different numbers that are coughed up to you. And you'll have body weight, the body fat percentage, the lean muscle or the lean body mass, and then also you'll have a number that's specific to water weight. I tend to take the water weight number and push that off to the side and compartmentalize that, just for the simple fact that that should remain pretty consistent for your clients. If they take this test, it's administered at the same time of the day after having the same meal pattern as well as water pattern. The body hydration component will not be an issue. So I tend to compartmentalize that. But from these numbers, we can actually come up with some pretty good information. And you don't need too much, right? Because if a person weighs 205 pounds and their body fat percentage is 29%, you can mathematically come up with what the fat-free weight is and the fat-free percentages. And from the two data points, quite literally to the left, and I'll do this for clients where I will write down on a piece of paper on the left-hand side where they are right now. John, you weigh 205 pounds. Your body fat percentage read out at 29%, which means your fat weight, 29% of you, is 59 pounds. So, if I give you perspective, if you were to go out and go grab a 60-pound dumbbell and walk around in the gym with that, you're going to feel that weight. Perhaps we can get you to the point where you're walking around with a 40-pound dumbbell. You'll notice the difference. And then, so we know mathematically, if your fat weight is 59.45, then your fat-free weight has to be 145.55. You just do the math, subtract one from the other. So where this becomes important is this. When a client comes in, they have specific goals and they tell you, okay, here's where I am, but Adrian, I'd like to lose 15 pounds to get to a 190 range. Okay, great. Here's how the numbers work out. We know you want to lose 15 pounds of total body weight. We know that from that, if we just keep your fat-free weight the same, the 145.55, meaning you're just going to work out, maybe you'll put on a little muscle over that time, but let's just keep it simple for right now and just keep you at that 145 number. You might actually see this number creep up and you end up at a 148 over several months of working out. But what you'll find is the fat-free weight, you're losing your 15 pounds, which means you've now gone from 29% body fat down to 23.4. So on a continuum or a process, when you look at this, you're focusing on this number, and this number is a result of this number through weight loss. Now, granted, it'll get a little bit more complicated when you have somebody who becomes more active in strength training and they start packing on some muscle and their two-compartment model changes a little bit where the fat-free weight maybe goes up to 150 pounds and the percentages will change. But this is a really easy way for people to kind of wrap themselves around the process. And it's a way that I can describe it, and quite frankly, you can as well, to your clients in a very simplified manner. So I've used this numerous times during the course of my career, just through consultations. In fact, I use it almost every time I do a consultation because it helps people really wrap themselves around what they have to do and what that'll feel like. And of course, the conversation always lends itself. If you end up at 190 pounds and you weigh 15 pounds less and you're not carrying around 60 pounds of body fat and ends up being 45, what do you think? I mean, you're going to feel pretty good. And they'll usually say, heck yeah, I'll feel great. And then they start saying, well, what happens if we take it another direction or even a little bit further and I want to get down to 180? And then you can start to extrapolate those results out and come out with different numbers. The other thing is people will ask, well, with body fat, is that high? And then you can walk them down the process of, okay, athletic is this percentage, average is this percentage, obese is this percentage, and you can give them perspective of if they're in the obese range or if they're in a high average, low obese range, and what frankly it would look like, say if they want to make the effort and really dial in and get down to 15%, what their body would look like, just from a numeric standpoint. And that really provides a pretty good impetus for people in terms of motivation to be able to lose weight. The other part of this is it's also a great process and effective for helping people choose goals. Believe me, I've had people I've sat across and I've had to ask them, okay, Jennifer, I know from our conversation you'd like to weigh 115 pounds. Quite frankly, when was the last time you weighed 115 pounds? No, I was a sophomore in high school. Okay, well, let's be realistic here. Let's look at the body composition and look at this analysis, see where your body is right now. And frankly, if the last time you weighed 115 pounds was in high school, before kids, 20 years ago, I'm thinking that's going to be a bit of a stretch for you to get there. We'll probably have to work on some different ways for you to view success. And it might not be the 115 pounds. It might be changing your body composition from where you are right now and losing some percentage, perhaps getting down to 120, 125 might be more realistic. But let's go ahead and take a look and we'll run the numbers and see where we go from there. And most people can wrap themselves around that concept. You're not being rude or inconsiderate. You're just laying the facts out to them. Like, look, the last time you weighed 115 pounds, you were a sophomore in high school. There's a lot that's gone on in your body from then to now. And you're using body composition and the tools that you have at your disposal to help paint a clearer picture of what is appropriate. So use body composition, use it as a tool. When you see the homework assignment that we'll have with this, you'll have a couple different variations for client scenarios that I want you to work on. And to that end, guys, Have a good one. Signing off.